Hi everybody, we're really sorry that we're so late for live, but whoever's here and could join us, we're grateful.
We got the rug pulled out from under us today.
We certainly did. We were ready to go, and the rug got pulled out from under us. Something was going on with Facebook or something on the block here. So anyway, we're going to get right down to business. We don't know how much time you have, and we have to kind of cut it down a little bit. But today we're talking about when the rug gets pulled out from under you. And it's a little bit different than when life just comes crashing down. This is different. We're talking about when you have dreams or ideas and things that you want to put into motion, maybe the start of a new business or a relationship. Where is it going? And you had all these plans. I know that this happens sometimes. It's very sad, but you plan a wedding. It's a couple days before. Somebody backs out. Now you got this wedding thing going on. We're always change. It all goes back to we're so afraid of change. And when our expectations and things that we were planning and so deeply emotionally wrapped up in suddenly change, it's traumatic. It's traumatic to the mind, to the everything. It just changes your life in that one moment. So when the rug gets pulled out from under you like that, and there's other things, you're married 20, 30 years, somebody comes home and goes, I'm not happy anymore. I mean, we have some really traumatic things that happen. The devastation that's going on, people are losing their entire lives. I'm not making light of this, but when you're down, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And you really need to hold on to that idea and understand that just like things happen to us, we have the ability and we have the strength, and somewhere deep inside we have the know-how to go on. I don't think we need people to make signs or write these things. I think that we see and know a lot of things that sometimes we allow fear to take over. We get stopped in our tracks, and at that point you really need to look at the situation and go, why am I so distraught? What am I feeling? Get the feelings, understand what it is, and then understand that right at that moment you can realize that there are no exceptions to the rule, that everything happens for a reason. Timing is everything. There's always another plan in the making. And even though right at that moment you may not want to think those things, it gets you out of that rut that the traumatic incident got you into. And you got to look at, where do I start now? When your back's up against the wall, you have to go, now where do I start now? So you're starting a new business, everything's ready to roll, this and that, this and that. Maybe you get caught up in a Mercury retrograde and the bank papers don't come through on time. Now this business that you put everything into, you're living on $1 a week, eating, rice, whatever. And now this happens. What do you do? What do you do? So you have to kind of regroup. Find people that are trained in the area that you need, if that's the case. I think that understanding your spiritual connection and the energy that we have access to and the power that we have to think about it is extremely important when these things happen. There is a time when friends step in and you find out you're really not alone, and they show up in the darndest places, like you just never know.
Yeah.
Situations that you're in that take a left turn instead of the right turn you were planning, you got to stop, regroup, and kind of pull back and look at the picture and look at it differently. And you have to look at it at, how do I change this? How do I make this work now? What was in the plan for me? Because clearly it wasn't what I planned. And that's like a lot of this is, you've heard the saying, man plans, God laughs. Well, never is it more true than when something like this, happens.
We went and had a bowl of soups. That's how we handled the change in pattern.
Yeah, here we were ready to do live Facebook wasn't coming up.
Yep.
I had no way to post to let you know it wasn't coming up.
Yep.
We're just like, okay, we just gotta like
We
regroup
just
and we're
gave
gonna
into
do
it.
this again, and whoever can make it, and that's, you
And look
know,
at
so
them
we're
all.
really happy for all of you. Kim, Christine, Anne Marie, Karen, Scott, Catherine, like, thank you. We're
We
glad
have a
that you're
studio
here.
audience today too, so
Yeah,
Barb and Kim.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
Everybody came to see what was going on.
yeah,
so
because we
thanks
weren't
for
on.
checking
Here
on
we
us.
are. Thank you. We're glad that people are really wondering where we are.
Yeah.
So anyway, really getting a hold on changing the way that you're doing things. You know, in leading up to what happened, change the way you do things. And a lot of times when these unexpected situations happen, it's almost like there was a glimpse of what if at some point in our lives. And you may not think this now, but that one moment of what if can bring all of that in. Because I know there's a lot of times that, like, I'll be doing something on the computer and I'm like, what if I didn't have the internet and I couldn't be doing this right now? Like, every single thing that, when we get the rug pulled out from under us, look at it as a brand new clean slate. You know, I have people that come in every once in a while and they're crying literally in pain because they're in a job that they hate. They hate this job, and because there's nothing else in the wings yet, they don't leave. And then they come in like 2 weeks later and they're crying again, and I'm like, what happened? You're still at the same job? They go, no, they let me go. And I'm like, you were crying 2 weeks ago because this was the worst thing that in your life, you hated it. And now you're crying because you're not in it anymore, and the universe like kind of let you out of it. Now I would say
Now they're
there's the
black.
rug getting pulled out from under you. And
Yeah.
you know what I said to this woman? I said, well, the universe just did you a favor because now you got a clean slate and you got a clear opening to go out and really figure out what it is what you want to do, and plan differently. Because in retrospect, when you look at things that happened, a lot of times they're foreseeable. In a lot of the examples that I gave you, there's usually red flags. I don't think anybody out there can tell me that you haven't, at some situation or the other that's going a little bit to the left or right, you haven't seen a red flag. I know that I'm really well prepared with them in relationships these days, red flags. I like see them almost immediately, you know,
Yeah.
because in retrospect, there were things where a lot of times we don't want to see it coming. And then there it is, and then we want to say the rug got pulled out from under us, but you know what? It got pulled out from under us for a reason. And the reason is that changes had to take place. Maybe we were afraid of the changes that were going to happen. Maybe we didn't really want to hear what the truth was going to be. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. Fear of change.
Yeah. Yep. I told her I was going to be listening a lot today.
She is, but that's all good. But you know, definitely like write in questions and things if you have a question about the topic when we let you know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because I want to be able to answer to you, and I don't really have a device right now that I can
I know,
see them on the phone.
even in all of that conversation, the one thing that really stands out that you said is like to seek, you know, like I always seek the help that I need in that moment. I recognize it so quickly at that point that I'll either like reach out to Phyllis or
Right.
like make sure I surround myself with my friends rather than isolate myself and like start to feel sorry for myself, because I call that going down the rabbit hole. And
not to mention, there's always that card reading that's right on the money.
Right,
Dying,
Karen.
Karen. I think half of you out there were doing like the same thing.
Right.
But to speak some type of spiritual guidance, and that's
yeah,
basically what that winds up being.
yeah,
And, you know, just really learn to realize that when this happens, it's a test. I believe that it's whatever your beliefs are, but my belief is that God is really testing us to show us the strength that we have, the smarts that we have, the capabilities that we have, and to really use them. And you know, sometimes it really comes in handy when you've been through something like this to help somebody else going through it, and that makes all the difference in their life. and you even grow from that,
Yeah.
you know?
I always actually look up my angels too. That was one
Yes.
of my things that I've done recently too. Was like, what's the actual situation at hand, and then who is it that might speak to that, like strength and like Saint
Yeah.
Michael and Saint Gabriel, and that's. I feel like the angels are like a softer touch than like if you had the dogma of religion that like it's not as scary as like God sometimes.
I happen to have the infamous angel wing crystal right here today.
Oh, I saw that online.
I know,
Very pretty.
I know. Hey, listen, I asked, they arrived in every form you can imagine.
Yep.
So, going forward, you know, the rug gets pulled out from under you, collect your thoughts.
Mhm.
What is it showing you? What are my options? You know, go back to you, go within, realize the strength that you have. Look at anything positive that can come from this. And, you know, in the long run, always try to have a plan B. But in making the plan B, don't think, oh, if this, don't make your thought B, oh, if this doesn't happen, because then you're setting yourself up for it not to happen. So if you want to do a plan B, give it to yourself as an option. I'm going to go this route, but if not, I always have this. But I also have open. Don't even say if not. I'm going to go this route, but I always have another option.
I also try to say this or something better.
Yes,
Because I
and know
didn't-
that you're deserving
Yeah, for sure.
of
Mhm.
all these
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah.
What was
It's
the
just-
option? I
just-
I'm sorry.
That's right. I just try to keep in mind, you know, I think sometimes when we see things, like we were to have a 12 o'clock start time today, and then Giuseppe was like not being able to get on. I said 12:03 is okay, you know, 12:05 will work, and then we hung it up because it was already frustrating. So this or something better, and here we are, and I'm grateful that so many people were able to still join us at 1 o'clock. So a little after 1.
Yeah, and I see we're getting a couple comments
Getting
here.
some
So some
comments.
people wear blinders.
Yep.
Yes, they do. Yes, we do. Sometimes we put ourselves in.
Our own situations. Oh, we talked about that too last week.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We always put ourselves in our own. We're always responsible for putting ourselves in the situations that we do. We're talking about when you're planning something. Like today, we were planning live, and Facebook just wouldn't come up, and we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So the rug got kind of, you know, pulled out from under us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess in a way we did put ourselves in that position because we didn't have a backup phone to use, but it was
But
Facebook, so
we
it was kind of
acknowledged-
beyond.
We acknowledged
Our
it right
control.
away that
Yeah.
it was like the universe
And then
giving
we were
us.
trying to let everybody know, like to
Yeah.
post it, and I'm like, if I can't post that, I can't post that either. And I didn't. I was running from store to store to see if somebody could post everybody, like a message. And
The funny
yeah,
thing
some
was,
people do wear blinders.
I
That is
acknowledged
true.
that the universe is giving us like a no, and Phyllis said, "No, I think we're getting taught our own lessons, so we can speak to it."
Yeah, so today we really have like what we're talking
Yeah.
about, and about wearing those blinders. We do, and the craziest thing about it is we know that we are. You can't be like an enabler and not know you're an enabler. There are so many things that we think it's okay and choose to not see or not address or not speak about, and then we let it fester. But after those many times of letting it fester, I think that you get to a point where you go, I don't want to have that feeling of festering anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about it today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to take care of it today.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
we want to thank everybody that was able to join us
Yeah,
today
it was
and
great.
for being patient with us, and we're really glad, you know, to be here with you. If you have any questions or comments, and please feel free to write in and let us know some topics that maybe you're struggling with and you'd like it to be a topic for the day. I see that we usually hit on with some people, so you know, hopefully we keep up the good. And Giuseppe's out front, so I'm gonna have to like.
I do want to quick say,
Yes.
just send prayers and positive energy to everyone who's suffering, and bring that healing to the planet. And,
Oh, absolutely.
to
So
all the
the
people in
devastation.
California and
California,
just all over.
Ralph and Lonnie are okay. For those of you that know me, that know Ralph and Lonnie, they're okay.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's horrible what we're witnessing, and
If
you
we
know,
can just put all of our positive energy
Yes.
together and send the healing,
please,
I feel like that's going to
that would
really
be a
go
wonderful thing.
far.
Be
you know?
more positive yourself.
Be
and that's
positive
one
of
more-
yourself, your
That's
life.
one more piece of that vibration going out there
Yeah.
to heal the earth.
Send love to the planet. and-
Exactly. Yeah, the planet is just mimicking what's going on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think in the history of anything we've seen such insanity. So anyway, we're going to go. We love you. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we will see you next week on time.
Wow. That's what we think.
Yeah.